It's unfortunate reality, whatever is going on in Middle East. It was started by Hamas, but the way Israel is behaving in the Middle East, that's ridiculous, matter of fact. It's a genocide. This is what the new word is these days. I'm listening. Genocide. It is true. This is not a collateral damage. This is attacking the hospitals, mosques, and churches, and it's unreal. This is unreal. They had a joint session in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia last week, Arab League and OIC, and they were not able to come to any solid conclusion. Iranians, they came up with a resolution there that we need to declare Israel as a terrorist state, and that was not approved. Then the Syrians, they came up with the resolution that we need to stop the diplomatic relations with Israel, and they were not able to come with any kind of resolution on it. This is embarrassing. It's so shocking that not only America, the France and the Rishi Sunak and Macron, all of them, they're going to Israel, but none of them has gone to West Bank to support, to show any regrets or any support to Palestine.
Exactly, and this is the biggest contradiction. Donald Trump has a more radical view than Joe Biden in support of Israel. He says that he is going to block the immigration from the Muslim countries, and he is going to profile and send back the Muslims who are protesting in the favor of Palestine.
Let me tell you a personal experience. His younger daughter is married to a Muslim. His younger daughter, who graduated from Georgetown Law School, she married to a gentleman with a Lebanese background. Again, coming to the question, he said the other day that he will deport the people. Look at this. Today in Pakistan, you are sending Afghanis after 40 years to Afghanistan.
Audience, welcome to New Wave Global. This is another channel of Neador TV channel you watch in Urdu, and this is its English channel. Today we have with my colleague, my friend, my little brother Faraz, I have another very distinguished guest. All of us know him very well. He is Muslims for Trump in Republican Party, and he is joining us to chat with us about what is going on in the Middle East. Sajid, thank you very much for joining us. Please just explain our audience first. What is happening in the Middle East? What you see where we are, the world is heading at?
Misbah Azam, thank you so much for having me in your show. My pleasure. It's unfortunate reality, whatever is going on in Middle East. It was started by Hamas, but the way Israel is behaving in the Middle East, that's ridiculous, matter of fact. It's a genocide. This is what the new word is these days. I'm listening. Genocide. It is true. I used to ask this question, what is the appropriate ratio of collateral damage? And this is not a collateral damage. This is attacking the hospitals, mosques, and churches, and it's unreal. This is unreal. But unfortunately, the biggest complaint I have towards to America, American political system, I have a complaint against them. Then my second biggest complaint is that they had a joint session in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia last week, Arab League and OIC, and they were not able to come to any solid conclusion. Iranians, they came up with a resolution there that we need to declare Israel as a terrorist state, and that was not approved. Then the Syrians, they came up with the resolution that we need to boycott, we need to expel that, we need to stop the diplomatic relations with Israel, and they were not able to come with any kind of resolution on it. This is embarrassing. And this is not a first occasion, matter of fact. Let me tell you, we are Muslim, we are suffering all over the world, regardless they are Burmese Rohingyas, or either they are Uyghurs, or they are even then Syrian Muslims, or either they are Libyan Muslims, all over the world, matter of fact. This is ridiculous. But this recent genocide taking place from Israel, there is no match to this. And what is happening is America and the other Western countries, they are just watching it taking place.
Sajid, tell us this. There has been mass protest in US and in Europe, in all the big cities. Thousands of people, and none of them, I mean, majority of them were not Muslims, right? They have come out and are protesting against this genocide. However, what we see, the governments, the head of states are not taking any notice of these protests, and their policy is very clear cut, that they are going to support Israel and they are going to stand behind this genocide that is taking place, which is bombing the hospitals, killing of the children, and none of this protest really matters in this case.
No, the thing is this, first of all, the American foreign policy, they always say unconditional support of Israel. And that's a very controversial statement. There must be some condition. What do you think that the Israel
When we say unconditional support, I mean, so that means they can break all the rules of war. They can
This
bomb
is
the
just like a
hospitals.
license to kill, license to kill, and they are doing it. I mean, here, imagine about it that Joe Biden is telling them, don't make the mistakes which America has done after September 11th, but they are giving them ammunition, they are giving them dollars, they are giving them all the missiles. Not only this, they have sent the ships there, and they have sent the nuclear submarine there. So it's a contradiction in their own statements and foreign policy. But here, it's so shocking that not only America, the France and the Rishi Sunak and Macron, all of them, they're going to Israel, but none of them has gone to West Bank to support, to show any regrets or any support to Palestine.
Exactly, and this is the biggest contradiction. Now, the OIC, what do you think OIC could do, right? Do they have any leverage?
First of all, to me, is I have a problem with the OIC. OIC is like a propaganda scheme of Saudi Arabia. I mean, so they were not effective in the past at the same time. Regardless, either it was a Kashmir issue or any other issues. They are not able to come up with, they were not able to solve any Muslim issue. It has become a non-functional organization like United Nations. I mean, say they always, do whatever they feel like. I mean, say the bigger, United Nations is America's marketing wing. That's what it is. So unfortunately, nothing is working. And earlier, like we were talking about it, Israel will not stop this campaign until they achieve their targets, which is an unfortunate reality. And this is a slap on humanity. It's unbelievable.
So
we are watching this.
Tell us this. What is the so we understand the Jewish diaspora is very strong, but what we see here, the many Jewish from people from the Jewish community are speaking up against this genocide. They are joining Muslims and they are joining other communities to protest against this genocide. So, but I still understand that the Zionist regime or the Israeli regime has a lot of influence in the US. What I want to know is, politicians usually they worry about their vote bank. In this case, there are mass protests, but they're not worrying about their vote bank. They are still out there to support Israel. What do you think is happening here?
First of all, being a student of political science, since last 10 or 15 years, what I'm observing that democracy is declining all over the world. It's not only in America. And there are many other reasons. There are many factors why the democracy is in decline. First of all, journalism is gone. It has become a media enterprise. Every big channel or every big news is owned by the corporations. And the second thing is this, the technology, the democracy is not catching up with the social media. And then at the same time, a majority of our elected leaders, they are behaving like dictators, like authoritarianism is on the rise. Most of these countries, you see it, either it's America, you can see it when the Donald Trump has declared his candidacy, since his polls are rising, 91 allegations against him. Some of them, they're criminal. Same thing, look at the India, authoritarianism, the courts are under their belt, the legislation under their belt. It seems like the China model looks better. I mean, say one party, Macron, look at the Macron. Imagine about it, there was a big allegation against the retirement age in France, and he doesn't care. Look at even in Israel. Bibi Netanyahu was busy in judicial reform there. And he was not able. And let me tell you another thing. Since you said that a lot of the Jews are against it, it was a famous protest at the Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C. Against this exercise and this campaign. And all of them, they were Jews against this Israel's campaign. And they sat in the Capitol Dome on the Capitol Hill, and they were arrested. And not only this, Bibi Netanyahu is not popular in Israel anymore. He's far right, and he's behaving like a dictator himself. So unfortunately, the democracy is in decline. And this is what I'm watching since last 10 years.
There is one more thing to what I would like to address. Look at from Israel perspective. Well, they could very well say that, how else can we eradicate Hamas? And Hamas has actually started this war. Hamas actually went in and, kidnapped, taken hostages, killed Israelis. So that is also condemnable. Question really becomes from Israel's side is, hey, how else do we go and eradicate Hamas? Hamas is hiding behind children. Hamas is doing all this, and there is no justification to kill the children in any way. But is there any other way for Israel to get rid of Hamas?
But that's what they're saying. The Israel, when I'm talking to my Jewish friends here, matter of fact, this is sometimes they come with the point, what other choice we have? Hamas started it. And not only this, Hamas has a history at the same time using people as a human shield. Yeah. But the thing is, this should be some kind of diplomatic solution on it, because the wars in 21st century and this genocide, my biggest issue is this. Faraz bhai, is a civilian killing, regardless if they're Jews, regardless they are Palestinians, whoever it is. A civilian person has nothing to do with the foreign policy. They don't have nothing to do with the defensive or aggressive behavior of Hamas. What the Palestinians got to do with it? Yeah. So the Israel has to think about it, that they have to find some kind of a diplomatic solution. That's what the ideal situation is. But unfortunately, this is not what they are. This is a fifth war within 15 years. And who suffers all the time is the Palestinian civilians. And the kids, I mean, today, close to 11,000 people have been murdered, and majority of them, their children. What they got to do with this Hamas aggression, whatever. So we have to, as a word, matter of fact, if you personally ask me, they need to sit together and find some kind of diplomatic solution. They are, so people are, again, since we are seeing the protests, but again, the people are talking about the two-state solution, which Bibi Netanyahu is just shoving it away. But ultimately, there is only one solution, is a two-state solution.
Yeah, actually, there is a little issue here, Sajid. See, the thing is that when somebody say, well, what we should do, see, there are two types of forces in the world. One is the force which is which we call it in Urdu Jatha, like Hamas, and which we already call them terrorists, right? I mean, it is declared terrorist organization, versus a sovereign nation like Israel, a democracy, and the people, my Pakistani friend who traveled to Israel, they say that once you pass through the immigration and you are in Israel, it is a democratic country. Nobody is watching you, nothing, you go travel and whatever, So at other hand is that, okay, what these jathas do, they just attack civilians, they just go house to house and a killing rampage and all that. But what the sovereign government does, sovereign government, first of all, they make the thing so that they will not be able to do it. If they do special operations, they infiltrate inside, they go inside and eradicate it. They don't go there and start bombing. That everybody sitting there, okay, maybe out of 10 people, one is Hamas, so let's kill all 10 so that Hamas will die. This is the big question here.
It is.
And another question which I like to ask you is that you remember George Bush Sr. What did he do? He put the embargo on the 10 billion loan guarantees to Israel when they were expanding their settlements. Why something? See, because you know that, and you know more than me, that it's true that American and we all have a lot of, America has a lot of support to Israel, but Israel also rely on America. So question comes here, Sajid, that do you see it? Is there any American interest which Israel is serving here? That's why America cannot just say publicly, please don't do it.
No, but to me is which I, here, I want to tell you, I have a lot of Jewish friends here, especially the town I'm living, Baltimore and DC area. Baltimore, where I'm speaking right now, is a heavily Jewish area where I'm sitting in my home. I have 2 synagogues on a walking distance. But what happens is this, their influence in here, in this country. And earlier, if you read the American history, most of the big financial centers or hubs, they were made by Jewish scientists. Before the First World War or Second World War, America was nothing. This was just a raw market for the European factories. They used to make cotton hair or make sugar cane and send it there to change into the rum or make the wool out of it or make the cigarettes out of them. But then after the First World War, Second World War, especially when the scientists were brought here after the Second World War from Germany, they made this country a superpower. So they and this is how they are right now. Like I told you. And second thing, if you since I'm Republican and Republican, they are very faith-based situation I have seen. Because the Jesus was Jew at the same time. So they when they are sitting together, they always say that Jews, they are God-chosen people. And not only this, keep in your mind that where the Israel is located, it is very sacred for the Christians as well. So the thing is, they are interrelated to each other, or they have bondage with each other, which is not separatable. So, but the thing is, but this is not how it's supposed to be. In 21st century, you have to think about it. Whatever you do is going to fire back you.
Right.
Like earlier you said, this is not a solution to go there and kill the children, to attack women. I mean, say hospitals. Regardless, they are saying that the Hamas is sitting under the hospital of Shafa Hospital. But this is not a solution. You go there and just kill. Like, this is exactly like it. If you have a headache, you take your head off. I mean, this is not a solution. You have to find what the grassroots issue is, and this issue didn't started yesterday. It's an old issue.
So, Sajid, my last question, since you represent Muslims for Trump organization, you're the president of it, Donald Trump has a more radical view than Joe Biden in support of Israel. He says that he is going to block the immigration from the Muslim countries, and he is going to profile and send back the Muslims who are protesting in the favor of Palestine. What is your take on this?
The thing, I have not only I was working with him for the last 4 years. I traveled with him 2016. First of all, let me tell you, this is a big allegation on him that he's an anti-Muslim gentleman. He was born in New York, and he know what the diversity is. Yes, his base is from the rural countries. Those are maybe haven't seen a lot of Muslims there. And here, let me tell you a personal experience. His younger daughter is married to a Muslim. And I was, I know him.
Oh, really? How come this is not in news? We haven't heard about this. I mean, this is the first time I heard this.
Yeah, it is. His younger daughter, who graduated from Georgetown Law School, she married to a gentleman with a Lebanese background. I believe they are living in South Africa. And I was in touch with them, that fellow I met.
I mean, is he Muslim? Because there are a lot of Lebanese, there are a lot of Christians in Lebanon too.
No, Muslim. His name is Muslim. Matter of fact, the thing is, a funny thing. Let me tell you. One day, this is how he approached me when I had a sign in my hand, Muslims American for Trump, and he came up there and he said, "You Muslim." But the thing is, at the same time, his son-in-law is Jewish at the same time, practicing Jewish. Yes. And not only this, the Donald Trump was a person who took the embassy to the Jerusalem, which I was not in favor of it, which I had a voice against it. Because the thing is this, I still have opinion. I don't agree with the 100.10% whatever Donald Trump says. I have to, to see what my conscience is saying. I have to support what my conscience is telling me. But here, the thing is, Donald Trump wouldn't have done anything differently what is happening today. But again, coming to the question, he said the other day that he will deport the people. Look at this. Today in Pakistan, you are sending Afghanis after 40 years to Afghanistan. And the reason, where it started from? It started from a cricket match in India. That's where the movement started.
Not really. There are other factors.
You can say there were definitely suicide
bombing.
But
then two wrongs don't make one right, right?
Of course. But here the question is this, and the Muslim ban, which is a famous one, the countries are Libya, Iraq, North Korea, Iran. So those countries are already sort of either the documents cannot be provable from them, verifiable, or they are in a state of war against the US. So this is what he always talk about it. Plus, at the same time, he always used that as a campaign, for his campaign to please his base and to tell people. Plus, at the same time, let me tell you, earlier I was talking about it. About 2 or 3 weeks back, the FBI had here in this country has said that America is vulnerable and there can be a terrorist attack. So as a candidate, as a presidential candidate, he has to tell his masses or supporters to keep them feel better that you are safe, or I will protect the country at the same time.
Okay. Sajid, thank you very much. Audience, thank you for watching. Until next week, goodbye.